You're listening to Rabbi Aryeh Wolbe of Torch in Houston, Texas. This is the Thinking Talmudist podcast.
Good morning, everybody. It is so wonderful to be here to continue our Thinking Talmudist series. We're going to continue learning about the Rainmaker. Who is the Rainmaker? So the Talmud now continues. We spoke about many different stories about different sages. Now, we have to understand, let's just introduce this idea. Rain is the essence of our sustenance. It is the key of all blessing. When God wants to punish the Jewish people, all he does is turns off the faucet and that's it. When you don't have rain, you don't have grains, you don't have the wheat, you don't have the barley, you don't have anything. You don't have anything that you need to sustain yourself. Our livelihood is dependent on rain. So if God wanted to punish us, the best way to punish people is in the wallet. That wakes them up right away. So Hashem is demanding something from us, which is why he holds back that blessing. In many, many generations, unfortunately, God was trying to teach the Jewish people something, and he withheld the rains so that they repent, so that they come closer to God. And many of our sages needed to use their power for prayer to relieve this tremendous decree. Additionally, we see that many of them were requested by the members of their generation. Can you please pray for us? We spoke about Choni, the circle maker, Choni HaMe'agel, and he had a tremendous power of prayer. I just want you all to know one thing. Each of us have the power to pray. Each of us have the power to influence and make big change. Someone yesterday called me from overseas and asked me what to do with someone that their acquaintance that was dealing with a very challenging situation. And I said to them, the first thing you can do is pray for them. No, me pray for them? Yes, you have a tremendous power of prayer. Power of prayer is unbelievable. We should not underestimate the power of our prayer. Don't undervalue it. It's tremendous, the power of our prayer. Okay, so now the Talmud's going to continue with a few stories of how rains came for Rav Yehudah. Rav Yehudah chazahanu beitrein. Rav Yehudah saw two people, dehavo kapartzi berifta, that they were playing with their bread. They were throwing it back and forth. Omar, he said, Shma mino iko sava ba'alma. It is evident from this that there is an abundance of food in the world. Yoiv eine hava kanfa. He focused his eyes angrily upon these people, and there was a famine. Amr luhu rabbanu l'Rav Kahana berei de Rav Nechunya shamei. The rabbis then said to Rav Kahana, the son of Rav Nechunya, Rav Yehudah's attendant, Mar d'shchiach kamei. You, master, who appear regularly before Rav Yehudah, ni'ashye de leifuk bepischa de samach l'shuka. Cause him to go out through the door that is near the marketplace so that he will pass through there and see how desperate the situation is. Asye v'nafek l'shuka, he caused him to do so, and Rabbi Yehudah went out into the marketplace. Chazeh kunufya, he saw that the crowd of people were there. Amar lu mai hai, they said to him, what's going on here? Amar le, he said to them, akuspa de tamri kaima de mizdabin. They are standing waiting for a container of dates that is to be sold. Amar shma mino kanfa be'alma. He said, it is evident that there is a severe famine in the world, right? It's evident from this that there is a big famine. Amar le lishamei, he said to his attendant, Shloch li misanai, take off my shoes. Shlof le echad misana, he removed one shoe, v'asa mitra, and it began to rain. Kimata lemishlaf acharina, when he reached to remove the second shoe, asa Eliyahu v'amar, the prophet Elijah appeared to him and said, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed is he, said, I shalfas acharina, if you remove his second shoe, macharivna la'alma, I will destroy the world. Why? Our sages explain that after bringing enough rain to end the drought and famine, by removing one shoe, Rabbi Yehudah wished to remove the other shoe to bring more rain to restore the prosperity that had existed before. He was told, however, that after causing heaven to alter radically the course of nature once, it was not proper for him to ask for this to be done a second time, when such intervention was not critical. Others explain this is quite the reverse manner. God's love for Rav Yehudah was so great that he would not permit Rabbi Yehudah to further afflict himself. Okay, so Rabbi Yehudah had one shoe taken off, and the heavens opened up and rain came. He said, Elijah said, don't take off the second one, because that's going to be a destruction for the world. Right? Too much rain is not either good. We know everything in life, doctor, right? Everything in life is balance. And if we are out of balance, it's not healthy. Being too happy is not good. Being too sad is not good. It has to be a balance. It has to be a balance. The Gemara now continues. So what happened after the story? Amar Rav Mori Berei Biro Debas Shmuel. Rav Mori, the son of Shmuel's daughter, said, Ana havi ko imno agudo de nahar papa. I was standing at the banks of the river Papa that day that Rabbi Yehudah brought the rains, Chazoi l'malachi, and I saw angels, the idmi l'malachi, who appeared in the guise of sailors, Dikomaisi chola umalunhu la'arbi, bringing sand and loading the cargo boats with it. Vehava kimcha disamida, and the sand miraculously became fine flour. Also kuli alma lebizban, they then sailored into the famine-stricken port, and the entire population came out to buy flour from them. Amar luhu meholo tizbenun. They said to them, do not buy from this flour. Demasen nisimu, because these are products of a miracle. Lemachar asyon arbe dechiti diparizina. The next day, the wheat boats of Parizna arrived, and the famine was relieved in a natural manner. Okay, so you have to be careful that although miracles are great, but you need to have a natural. That's why I'm sometimes afraid of all these miracle grow stuff. This miracle, not the grass product they have for vegetables, right? Got to be careful. It has to be a natural way. Has to be a natural way. All right, it's important. Okay, the Gemara relates another story about the prayer for rain. Rava ikla lahagronyo. Rava once came to the city of Hagronyo. Gazar Taanis, and he proclaimed a fast due to the lack of rain. Below Asamitra, it didn't rain. It didn't rain. So they made a fast, which is what people did. They would fast and they would pray. And here they didn't. Nothing happened. Then nothing came as a result. Amar Lu, he said to them, Bisu kuli alma b'tanasaychu. Pass the night, all of you, in your fast, meaning, let's not break the fast tonight. Because usually you'd be a fast during the daytime, and at night you can eat like lahavdil, not to compare between holy and unholy, Ramadan, right? During the right, so they fast during the day and they eat at night. And which we have fasts like that. We have 4 fasts that are like that. Yom Kippur starts the night before. The fast of the 9th of Av starts the night before. But the other 4 fasts of Tzom Gedalia, Taanis Esther, Asar B'Teves, and the 17th of Tammuz, they are all fasts that are just during the day. And at night, once it's nighttime, we can resume eating. So here, he says to them, Rava says, don't eat tonight. It should be a day and a night. L'machar amarlu, the next day, when they reassembled, he said to them, Mi ika dechaza chalma lema. If there's anybody who saw something in a dream, please tell us. Amarlu Rabbi Elazar from Hagronya said to them, Lididi akun b'chalma. I was caused to call out in my dream, Shalom tav l'rav tav miriboin tav. Good greetings to the good teacher from the good master. Umitivusa meitiv la'amei, who from his goodness dispenses good to his people. Omar, so Rava said, Shema mino eis rotzen hi mi b'yirachmei. He said, it is evident from this dream that it is an opportune time to pray for mercy. B'yirachmei v'aseh mitre. So everyone prayed, and the rain came. What does dreams have to do with anything? We mentioned this previously as well. Dreams, our sages tell us, the Talmud says, a dream is a 60th of prophecy. A dream is a 60th of prophecy. However, notwithstanding that it's a 60th of prophecy, a dream is, the Talmud says, I had a phone conversation just a couple of days ago. Someone told me that he's been having, for a long time he hasn't had dreams, and now he's having dreams every night. Crazy dreams, good dreams, bad dreams, every dream. I said, it's a good thing you're having dreams. Why? Dreams means, the Talmud says, a dream means that Hashem wants to communicate with you. No dream, it says if someone doesn't dream for 30 days, they should be concerned. Why should they be concerned? Why does Hashem not want to talk to me? It doesn't mean a person should have scary dreams. But a person should experience dreams. That's a good thing. But a dream tells you something. It also says, by the way, that Shabbos is the 60th of the world to come. Sleep is the 60th of death. But there's a lot of great things that can come from dreams. A person has to know. However, there's an halacha. Halacha says that if someone has a really terrifying dream, a person should do a hatavas chalom, which means interpreting of the dream in a positive way. So if a person talks about their dream in a negative way, they're giving life to the negative dream. Instead, you should tell someone who is able to interpret dreams, and they'll interpret it in a positive way. Someone once shared with me that they had a terrible dream that someone they were close to was going to die. So I said, it's your Yetzer Hara. Your Yetzer Hara is going to die, because Yetzer Hara is very close to us. He knows a lot about us. He's good friends with all of us, right? He's going to die, and you're going to be able to overcome Yetzer Hara. It means you interpret it into something which is good, even though it's something which is in their memory, in their dream, was something bad. We try to turn it into something good. And that gives it a positive life forward. The Gemara tells of an incident in which Rabbah's prayer for rain was deemed inappropriate. Hahu gavra di ichayev nagda. There was a certain person who was sentenced to lashes in the court of Rava. Mishum de Baal Kusis, because he cohabitated with a Kutite woman. Nagde Rava umis. Rava had the man flogged, and the man died. Ishtama milsa be shvar malka. The matter became known to the palace of the king. And they wanted to punish Rava. Amrale Ifra Hurmiz Ime Dishvar Malka Livra. Ifra Hurmiz, the mother of the king, said to her son, Lo leheve loch esek dvarim bahad Yehudai. Do not quarrel with the Jews. By the way, Hurmiz. Does it remind anyone of anything? We have the Strait of Hormuz. Here we go. This is Hurmiz. Don't mess with the Jews, she said. Because whatever they ask for from their God, he grants them. Omar lo maihi. He said to his mother, what is it that he grants them? Bayon rachme ve'osrei mitra. She said, they pray for mercy, and the rain comes. Amar who the king said to her, Hahu mishum dizimno demitru. Nah, that's just because it's the rain season, and the rains would have come anyway. Ela libo rachme ha'idnu bitkufas tammuz. Rather, a true test would be if they rained for it in the summer season, if they prayed for it in the summer season, and it rained. Vilesi mitra, and let's see if the rain comes then. Sholchalei l'Rava, Ifra, whom was the mother of the king, who admired Rava and wished to save him, sent a message to Rava. Kevan Kavein datoch uboy rachme delesa mitra. Concentrate and pray for mercy that rain should come. Boy rachme velosa mitra. He tried to pray and it didn't rain. Omar Lafonov, Rava said before God, Rebbeinu Shalom, Master of the universe, Elokim be'ozneinu shamanu avosenu saprulanu. God, with our ears we have heard, our fathers have recounted to us. Po'al po'alta b'ymeim b'meikedem. The work which you wrought in their days, in days of old. But we have never been privileged to see these miracles with our own eyes. The rain then came in such an enormous volume that the gutters of Tzipori emptied into the Tigris River, meaning there were streams of water running from the houses to the river. Asa, Avua, Ischazi le bechelmei, Rava's father came and appeared to him in a dream. Amarle, he said to him, "My ika de mitrach kamei shmaya kulehai." Why did you have the chutzpah, the audacity, to impose upon heaven to such an extent? Amarle, shane duchtich. His father then said to him, "Change your sleeping place." Shani duchte, he moved where he slept. Lamochar ashgeche lemirsham purye visakine. The next day he discovered his bed marked up by knives. Commentary says that is, he discovered slash marks on his bed. Demons had attempted to kill Rava for soliciting this miracle. It seemed from this story that when demons are given the power to harm a person in a certain place, they have no power to harm him elsewhere, which is why our sages tell us, Mishane Maka Mishane Mazel. Sometimes we tell people if they have bad luck in a place, they should change places. Go someplace else. Go move different cities, move different home. Right? Why? Because if the demon can affect you in where you are, if they're given permission, they don't have permission to do it elsewhere. Thus, Rava was spared by the expedient of moving to a different place. So there's a bunch here. So first is, again, we see here the power of simple prayer. The power of simple prayer. When someone asks for something, just simple words. You don't have to be some holy rabbi. You don't have to be someone who's been completely removed from the physicalities of this world. You don't have to be some sheik or some minister. Simple Jew has a power to pray and for it to be heard and to be answered. Every prayer is heard, and every prayer is answered. The Talmud says, Ein tefillah choseres rekom. There's no prayer that returns empty-handed. The answer might be no, and you have to be willing to hear that. But there is no such thing as a prayer that returns unanswered. It may also be not now. Our sages tell us that there were many who prayed for something, and they didn't get it, but their grandchildren got it. And their great-grandchildren got it. That's also a prayer that's answered. May not be now. Now might not be the right time. Another story about a prayer for rain that went unanswered at first. Rav Papa Gazer Taanis, Rav Papa decreed a fast, v'lo mitra, and again the rain did not come. Cholash libe, he became faint. Suraf Pinka de Dosa, he consumed a spoonful of grits, uboy rachme v'lo asa mitra, and prayed for mercy, but the rain still did not come. Amar le Rab Nachman bar Ushpazti, Rab Nachman bar, the son of Ushpazti, said to him, I sarif mar pinka achrisa de Dosa asa mitra. Perhaps if the master were to consume another spoonful of grits, the rains would come. Ichsif v'cholashtati. Papa became ashamed and dejected. V'asa mitra. And the rains came. Okay? The rains did come. Although it might have been necessary for Rav Papa to break his fast because of his weakened condition, Rav Nachman ridiculed him for breaking it before praying for rain. By causing Rav Papa to feel the severity of his humiliation in not having his prayer answered, he hoped that God would show him favor and compensate him by answering his prayer. So he was humiliating. He says, you ate, you broke the fast. You decreed a fast, you got weak, so you ate. Eat another spoon, maybe then your prayers will be answered. And indeed, because he was so humiliated, God answered his prayer. Now we're going to get to some other interesting stories that the Torah, the Talmud here but we're going to finish up with the stories of the rain. The Gemara now relates a series of stories about the Tana, Rav Chanina ben Dosa. Rav Chanina ben Dosa have ka'ozil be'orcha. Rav Chanina ben Dosa was once walking on the road. Asa mitra. When the rains came, Amar lefanav Ribbonu shel olam, he said before God, Master of the universe, kol ha'olam kula benachas v'chanina b'tzad, the entire world is at ease. Everyone is enjoying these rains. But Chanina is in distress because I'm getting soaking wet. Pasak mitra, the rain ceased as a result of Rav Chanina's prayer. Kimatel beis, when he reached his house, Amar lefanav Ribbonu shel olam, when he got to his house, he said, Master of the universe, Kol ha'olam kula b'tzar, the whole world is in distress. V'chanina benachas, and Chanina is at ease. Also mitra, so the rain was returned as a result of his prayer. Rabbi Yosef comments on the power of Rav Chanina ben Dosa's prayer. Amar Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yosef said, "My ahanya leit slosa de kohen gadol legabe Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa." Of what value was the prayer of the high priest, of the kohen gadol, in regard to Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa? The Tanan, we learned from a Mishnah, Hayim mispal tefillah ktsara bebayis hachitzon. The kohen gadol would pray a short prayer in the outer chamber. My matzli, what would he say? Rabin bar Ada v'Rava bar Ada de Amir Tavayu Mishmei Rav Yehudah. What did he say? Different sages say that this is what he prayed. May it be your will, Hashem our God, Geshuma ushchuna. May this year be a rainy and hot year. The Gemara interrupts the text of the prayer in question. Shchuna ma'al yohi. Is excessive heat a benefit? What are you asking for? It should be hot. I understand it should be rainy. Okay, that's great. It's great for our agriculture. It's great for our produce. It's great for our livelihood. But why heat? What does heat have to do with this? He says, Griyusai. On the contrary, it's a detriment. Why then did the Kohen pray for it? The Gemara therefore revises the text of the prayer. Ella, rather, what did he say? Im shchuna tehe geshuma utlula. If it is hot, it should be very rainy and dewy to counteract the drying effect of the heat. Okay, so if it's hot, it should be rainy. The Gemara now continues the text of the prayer of the Kohanim. So the high priest would continue their prayer, V'al yikanis lefonecha tfilas over drachim, and made the prayer of travelers to hold back the rain not be permitted to enter before you. Rav Achaber de Rava, Misayim Mishmei de Rabbi Yehudah, Rav Acha, the son of Rava, stated in the name of Rav Yehudah, that the prayer of the Kohen Gadol would conclude as follows: Lo ya'adi avid shultan midebeis Yehuda, and may one who exercises rulership not pass from the house of Judah. Ve'al Yehu amcha Yisrael tzrichin lehisparnei zeh mizeh, and may your people Israel not be required to receive sustenance from one another, v'lo la'am acher, and not from any other nation. We shouldn't need any handouts from one another, and we shouldn't need any handouts from another nation. So that's the prayer that was prayed by the Kohen Gadol, by the high priest in the temple. The Gemara now notes the greatness of Rav Chanina ben Dosa and the poverty in which he lived. Omar Rabbi Yehudah Rav Yehudah Rav said, "B'chol yom v'yom baskol yotzes v'omeres." In every single day, a heavenly voice emanates and proclaims, "Kol ha'olam kula nizon b'shvil Chanina b'ni." The entire world receives its sustenance in the merit of Chanina, my son. V'Chanina b'ni dayo b'kav charuvim me'erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos. While Chanina himself finds it sufficient to live off one kav of carobs from one Shabbos Eve to the next Shabbos Eve, from Friday to Friday. Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa had no bread to eat and survived on carobs. Carobs provides all the nutrients that one needs, but there's only one challenge with carobs. What's the challenge? It takes 70 years for the tree to produce fruit. So if you're planting it, it's most likely you're not planting it for yourself. You're going to plant it for your grandchildren. The Gemara relates an incident regarding the wife of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. Havi regila debisu lemechama tanura kol mali leshabso. His wife was in the habit of heating the oven every Friday, vishadyo aktarito, and throwing in a smoke-causing substance. Mishum kisufa, because of embarrassment. Havalo hach shibavto bishto, she had this bad neighbor, Amra, who said to herself, Michti, let me see, Yodana delesluhu velomidi. I know that these people have nothing. My kulihai, what are they producing? What is all the smoke coming out of their chimney, from their oven? Ozlo vitorfa ababo, she went and knocked on the door. Ichsifo, she, Reb Chanina's wife, felt embarrassed. V'aylo li'indruna, and withdrew to the inner chamber. Is abid lo nisa, and a miracle happened to her. Dichazi l'tanur mali lachmo, and the neighbor saw that the oven was filled with bread. Ve'agaga mali lisho, and a kneading trough full of dough. Amra lo, the neighbor called to her, Plonisa, madam, I see masa de kochorich lachmich. Bring a baker's shovel, because your bread is getting burnt. It's time to take it out of the oven. Amr lo, Rav Chanina's wife replied to her, Af ano lahochi aili. Indeed, it is for this reason that I went into the inner chamber to get my baker's shovel. Tana taught, Af hi lahavi mardo nichnasa. She indeed entered the inner chamber to bring a baker's shovel. Because she was accustomed to miracles being brought upon her regularly. She kept her own baker's shovel on hand because she was accustomed to have miracles wrought on her, and thus could expect to have bread in the oven even when she had prepared none. Pretty incredible. Okay, so this is an incredible story. The Gemara now relates another story about this intensely pious couple. Amr Lala de Bisu, once Rav Chanina ben Dosa's wife said to him, Ad emas nezel nitzar kulihai. How long are we going to continue to suffer so much from this dire poverty? Amar lo, he said to her, my naved, what should we do? Boy rachme de nesvu loch midi. She replied, pray for mercy, that you should be given something of value. Boy rachme, he prayed for mercy, yotza kimin pisas yod, and something like the palm of a hand emerged from heaven. V'yavu leichad kara de purta dahaba, and he was given a leg of a golden table. Chazia bechelma, he then said to her, I've seen in a dream, Aside tzadiki de ochli aptora de dahaba, that in the future the righteous are going to be eating on a golden table. The islay telas kara, and that table that they eat from only has 3 legs. Ve'at ocheles aptora de tre kara, but you are eating from a table that has only 2 legs. Amrale nicha loch de mechal ochli kuli alma aporto de mishlam. She said to him, are you content that everyone eats at a complete table? Va'anan aptora de michsar, but we eat from a defective table? They probably had 2 legs, they had to lean in on the wall. Amrlei, she said to him, Umay navid, what then shall we do to rectify the situation? Be'ei rachmano unishtakilno minach. Pray for mercy that it should be taken back from you. The table, the leg. He prayed, and the leg was taken back. The Tana said, the last nace, the last miracle, was greater than the first miracle. The Gemiri, for we have a tradition, that things are given from heaven, but mishkal lo shakle, but things are not taken back. And here, they had the miracle that it was taken back. They didn't want to have the leg from the world to come taken away from what would be their future reward to get it in this world, which is a very incredible perspective that we need to learn from. You see, you can ask someone, we talk about our campaign. Well, just for example, right? Everybody earns their money, and everyone earns it hopefully in the most honest, in the most beautiful way. They pay their taxes, and now they have their money. What does it mean when we give charity to someone else? It's our 401k for eternity. That's what it is. We're giving money into our 401k. When do we get that return? In the world to come. A friend of mine I was talking to last night, he said that he was solicited by an institution of a relative of his in Israel. And he said to him, I want you to consider undertaking this sum of money. So he said to if my business grows, then I will be able to give that. He said, you're looking at it wrong. You give it and the business will grow. Right? You give it and the business will grow. There's many, many people that I know that did this annually. They decided how much money they wanted to make, and they pledged the tithe of it at the beginning of the year. They said, God, I want to make $1 million. They immediately pledged their 100,000, their 10%. So now, Hashem, I made the pledge. I got to fulfill it, and kind of locking it in. But really, what is it? It's us investing in our future. Just like we take money out of our income to put it into Social Security, which will hopefully help us when we retire, or we invest in one of these IRAs that you'll get when you retire. You're taking away now for later. What may seem like we're taking away now from ourselves is investing in our future. The Gemara now relates another incident about Rav Chanina ben Dosa. Chad Bei Shimshei, one Friday evening at twilight, Chaze liberate dehaves atziva. He saw that his daughter was sad. This is a remarkable story. Amar Allah biti, he says to him, my daughter, lamayitz atzivas, why are you sad? Amar lei, she replied to him, kli shel chometz nischalefli b'kli shel shemen. I mistook a container of vinegar for a container of oil. V'hidlakti mimenu or l'shabos, and I poured the vinegar into the lamp and lit with it the Shabbos light. Amar lo, he said to her, no, biti, ma'ichbach slach, what do you care? What do you care? Mi shamar l'shemen v'yidlaik. Hu yomer l'chometz v'yidlaik. Whoever commanded the oil to burn will command the vinegar to burn as well. The Tana taught, Haya dolek v'holech kol hayom kulo. The lamp continued to burn the entire day of Shabbos. Ad shehiviu mimenu or lahavdalah, till they used the same light for the Havdalah candle. That's how long it lasted for. Rabbi Chanina did not want to use a miraculous light for Havdalah, but one should distance himself as much as possible from benefiting from a miracle. On the Shabbos, Rabbi Chanina had no choice but to use the miraculous light. But after Shabbos concluded, he lit an ordinary lamp from the flame and extinguished the miraculous light. The Gemara states another story about Rav Chanina ben Dosa. Havulei hanoch izeh. He had a few goats. Amar lei, the people complained to him, Kal mafsidon, your goats are damaging our fields. Amar, he said, kal mafsidon, if you're truly being damaged, they're damaging other people's fields, my goats. Nichlinu dubei, may bears devour them. V'ilo, and if it is not true, kol chad v'chad teisi l'urta duba bekarnayu. May each goat bring home with it in the evening a beer on its horns. L'urta aisi kol chada v'chada duba bekarnayu. In the evening, each and every one of the goats came back with a beer in its horns. The Gemara tells of another miracle wrought by Rav Chanina ben Dosa. Havolei hahi shibavta. Rav Chanina had a certain woman neighbor, de kabonya besa, who was building a house. Velo mati kshure, but the beams did not reach from wall to wall. Asila kamei, she came in front of Rav Chanina. Amrale, she said to him, Bonisi beisi, velo kamatu kishurai. I built my house, but the beams did not reach from wall to wall. Amar lo mashmech. He asked her, what's your name? Amrale Aiku. My name is Aiku. Amar Aiku nimtu kishuraich. Aiku, may your beams elongate and reach from wall to wall. Tana, a Tana taught, Higiu achi yotzu amalakan ve'amalakan. The beams indeed elongated until they protruded a cubit on each side of the wall, outward. V'yesham, and some say that it was actually snifin asuam. The beams were made longer by means of sections that were miraculously added to the ends of the beams. Tanya, it was taught in the Brisa, Plimo says, Re'isi oso habayis, v'hoyu korosov yotzos amalakan ve'amalakan. He says, I myself saw that house, and its beams were protruding outside of the house about 3 feet in each direction. V'amruli, and people said to me, Ba'iseh shekera Reb Chanina ben Dosa b'tfiloso. This is the house of Rav Chanina ben Dosa covered with beams through his prayer. The Gemara returns to the incident cited above regarding Rav Chanina ben Dosa's goats and the beers. So the Gemara asks, Rav Chanina ben Dosa mehechan havale izim, from where did he even have goats? Where did he get goats from? V'ha'ani haviu, don't we know that he was very, very poor? He was extremely poor. Ve'od amru chachamim, moreover the Seder said, Ein megadlim behema daka b'Eretz Yisrael, that one is not permitted to raise small cattle in the land of Israel. So what's going on here with Reb Chanina ben Dosa and his small cattle when he's such a poor guy and he didn't have anything? The Gemara answers, Amar Rav Pinchas, Rav Pinchas said, Ma'asav avar adam echad al pesach beiso. It happened once that a person came to the doorway of Rav Chanina's house, v'iniach sham tarnagolin, and he inadvertently left some chickens there. Umetzon ishtosh Rav Chanina ben Dosa, and Rav Chanina ben Dosa's wife found them. V'amar lo, and Rav Chanina told her, Al tochli mi beitzem, do not eat from their eggs. V'hiru beitzem v'tarnagolim. Eventually they produced many eggs and many chickens. V'hayu mitzarin oisam, which became a nuisance for them, for Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa and his wife. And they sold the eggs and the chickens. V'kana bidmeim izim, and he bought goats from the prophet. Pam achas avar osa adam she'avdu men hatar golim. One time, the very same person who lost those chickens passed by the house of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. This is where I left my chickens, at the doorstep of Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa. Shamar Rabbi Chanina heard him say that. Amar lo, he said to him, Yesh l'cha b'hem siman, do you have any identifying marks on your chickens? Amar lehein, yes, I did. the person said. Nasan lo siman, he gave Rav Chanina the identifying mark. V'natalas izin, and he took the goats. V'hein hein ize de aisi du bebe karnayu, and these are the same goats that were able to bring the bears back on their horns. Right? They weren't his. But here's an amazing thing. The Torah tells us that if you find an object, you have a mitzvah to return it. You walk outside, not in a public domain, but you find a pen, you're not allowed to use it, you're not allowed to destroy it, you're not allowed to throw it out. You got to announce it. It's not only pets. You find lost dog, lost cat, lost, you see that on the streets. You have these signs on the telephone poles. No. You find something, you can't dispose of it. But what's if it's something that's going to get ruined? It's going to get ruined. An apple. So if a person is able to, what they should do is sell the apple. And then when the person comes and says, I left my apple here. Oh, it's going to get ruined. We sold it. Here's your $1 for your apple. But that's what Rav Chanina ben Dosa did. He wasn't going to let the chickens die, and he wasn't going to let the chickens, all the eggs, get ruined. It was becoming a nuisance. It probably wouldn't smell right. It probably wasn't a very pleasant. But he's got to get rid of it. But he also has to. He can't get rid of it because it's someone else's possession. It's a mitzvah in the Torah. You find something, to return it. You find something, you return it. A beer, a dove. So we're going to stop here, my dear friends. We'll see. The Gemara tells about other stories of people who were poor. Maybe we'll continue this next week, and we'll be able to resume. Then it goes back into the prayers for rain. Till then, my dear friends, have a magnificent Shabbos. Thank you so much for joining us.
You've been listening to Rabbi Aryeh Wolbe on a podcast produced by Torch, the Torah Outreach Resource Center of Houston. Please help sponsor an episode so we can continue to produce more quality Jewish content for our listeners around the globe. Please visit torchweb.org to donate and partner with us on this incredible endeavor.